Seahawks!
It's time to BS.
Guys, what did we miss? What,
Who knows?
What did we miss? Who knows? There's nobody there.
No, we're here. We're bringing
We are
it.
here. We are here, Kevin. That's right.
That's right.
So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 12 of Seahawks Sessions. This is lucky number 12.
Yeah, we made it.
We're-
Hey,
Oh.
this is a significant episode, in Seahawk lore.
In
That's
honor
right.
of the first number to be retired by the franchise.
Yes.
Believe it or not. Yes, that is true.
And Texas Tech did sue us. Yeah.
Texas A&M.
Or Texas
Texas
A&M.
A&M,
Yeah.
that's right.
Texas
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, the
A&M,
Aggies.
Dustin.
The
That's
Aggies
right.
got us.
So we had to change it to the 12s
Yeah.
instead of the 12th man, which is stupid.
I know. I missed the 12th man. I missed
It was great because there are some other teams that, like, besides from Texas A&M, that use the term 12th man. Like Carolina did it for a little bit. I was like, really?
Huh.
Carolina? Like, with all due respect to Panther fans,
Right.
that
Step
team
up.
for the majority of the last 25 years has not been good.
No.
It's true.
No, that's where you need to exit the highway.
Get off at exit 12.
That's right.
There you go. There you go. Hey,
All three of us are here.
yeah. The show is in peak form too, because
That's right. Right out of the
gate.
right out of the gate when Kevin's up to his usual nonsensical self. Everything's golden, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy! So we do have some. Obviously, you have noticed, for those who are, listeners of Time to BS, will know that there has been some changes. Unfortunate, so we can address those. So yes, unfortunately, the Stanio Smooth character, which was somewhat beloved by many, give or take, depending who you ask, has been unfortunately retired. This was, a Meade decision, and blah blah blah. And then also the OG logo, which I generally do enjoy, has also made a glorious, triumphant return. That is the original logo of Time to BS, and it's a nice one. I generally do enjoy that logo because it's like, hey, it's there, it's the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. Anytime you got the beach, you're ahead of the game.
I mean, I also have a green screen behind me.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. And
Yeah. You posted that. I like that.
yeah. Do you have? Are those the literal beaches of Long Island that you have on the green screen there?
That's a picture I took.
All right. Yeah.
That is a picture I took of Greenport, Long Island, New York, which is on the North Fork of the island, which is, for those who don't know geography that well, it's the opposite direction of Montauk. So it's like north of Montauk Point and stuff like that. It's there somewhere. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours away from Montauk, which in retrospect is not a bad drive. But we digress.
right.
Kevin's choking. Kevin's choking on air.
I'm bringing it back. We're good.
Kevin's choking on air.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
So, Kevin, what's new? Like it's been a bit since we've obviously recorded.
Yes, it's been way too long, and been busy. Involved in fantasy baseball, fantasy football. We got that show is rolling now, and doing some articles. Of course, I've been joining Dustin. Saturday mornings, talking about baseball and many other subjects, and so we try and stay keep out of trouble over there, but sometimes
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan. I feel like Dan that Kevin might be the busiest man in podcasting, with the exception of the man directly to his my left.
No,
here.
Kevin takes the cake by a country mile. I mean that out of like sincerity. Like, Kevin, for God's, he's posting an article every day. He's posting a new video every day.
Yeah, because I'm now doing 3 shows a week.
Yeah,
and,
a lot.
So but it's a pleasure to do that. I'm glad that people actually want to, see my, my smiling face.
Oh,
So
of course, yeah.
so I appreciate that, and because I'll give my opinions and things like that, and so if somebody wants to hear it, I'm all for it.
Dustin, what is new? Because I know that there has been some stuff going on.
Yeah.
On your end, but
yeah, there's been family stuff which I probably won't get into on the airwaves, but there's things going on. But podcasting, as I say to Ryan every Tuesday and Saturday when we do it, this is something I really look forward to all the time. And like Kevin was saying, this is the flow of Seahawks Sessions when it's the off season. But it's been too long since we've gotten together and done our brand of nonsense, as you like to say,
right?
Because we will steer the ship anywhere,
That's right, even backwards. So. Backwards, sideways, maybe upside down. We don't.
I was going to say maybe upside down, like. Anyone seen Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End? Do you remember that part of the movie where they're upside down for some reason?
I haven't seen all of those.
I like that. Some reason.
It's actually not a bad film. It's very slow.
Okay.
I tried to watch it for the first time.
Compared to the other ones, yeah.
Yeah, compared to the first two, it's very slow.
Right.
But
I could take a slow burn though. I could take a slow burn. I don't mind that as long as you do enough to keep it going. Some of the movies on our, I don't mean to do this, but on No Ticket Required right now, which is in full swing. Some of the movies are a little slower, but I don't mind the slower movies as long as you engage me. As long as you engage me.
Right. And so just to bring this up real quick, since we're talking about the sea, there's a movie called Dangerous Animals that you need to check out.
Okay.
All right.
It's got sharks in it and cool stuff like that. And it's pretty awesome.
I appreciate that his lead line was, "It's got sharks." Everybody,
it's got sharks.
That's all you need.
Speaking of sharks, did you know it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws this year?
I saw that. How crazy is that?
Kevin, were you here on this planet when
I was?
Jaws?
Yeah, I was alive. At way back in there, and
back in my day.
Yeah, and there were some unfortunate things that came from that movie where people got afraid and went out and just killed sharks just because.
My grandmother was, until the day she died, was afraid of the water, would never touch anywhere. The beaches, the lakes, the ocean, never. She would never go in the water.
Yeah, that's my mom is right there. Yeah, my mom's right there with yours. She doesn't like to wet her hair in the shower. And
that's a new one.
Yeah. And so I know that because I've always loved the water. So I know that that did not come from her.
No, and a weird trivia fact about Jaws. The only reason I know this is because I listened to a podcast called History Daily, and it does what it says. Every day of the year, they come up with something that happened in history on that day. And my birthday, which was in June, I'm not going to fully out myself on the podcast.
Me neither, because mine was last Friday, so I'm with you, Dustin.
Yeah, but my birthday, which was in June, was the date that Jaws premiered. So I just gave it away because people can just Google it now. But yeah, in 1976, my birthday was the day that Jaws premiered finally at the movies, and there was a lot of hardship making that movie. There's an interesting podcast that was out there that talks about the making of Jaws, and I listened to it. It was pretty amazing to hear some of the problems they had with the shark and everything else.
That's why you don't see it for half the movie.
Yeah, that's why. So, do you guys know of the actual origin story of Jaws?
I don't think so.
I am aware.
Kevin knows. So, okay,
I am aware.
I will tell you guys. So, there was a short film, like an hour-long film that was released in 2004, I want to say, called The 12 Days of Terror. And it's the actual origin story of Jaws.
Right, in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, correct. And I think we discussed this on here. So, retread again. So the 12 Days of Terror, there was a bull shark that invaded the waters of like a small little river town in New Jersey. And I don't remember the amount of deaths that were involved in those attacks, but it was 12 days of shark attacks.
Right.
Man.
And it
was
all started
insane.
out off the shores of New Jersey, and then it became an inland scenario. Because this, as you mentioned, the shark went up the creek,
Yep.
so to speak, and it killed some people, including some rather young individuals.
Yep.
And Peter Benchley was well aware of that story, and he modeled his book after that.
Yep. So for those who do not know science and biology that well, bull sharks have the unique ability to traverse through saltwater and freshwater.
That's right.
So
that's why you'll see them up the Mississippi River.
Yep, you'll see them everywhere.
Everywhere. And some lake in Nicaragua, I think it is. And they've had attacks.
Yeah.
In that lake. So
it's crazy. It's crazy because you would think like, oh, bull sharks, they're not that big, but no, like they're aggressive.
Oh, they're a good enough size. And another trivia is because bull sharks have the highest rate of testosterone of any animal.
Oh man, they've got natural roids.
That's right. So
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Naturally aggressive animal. So.
Seahawks Sessions Summer Edition Shark Attack.
Right. Yeah, so you just don't know what you're going to get yourself into when you join this show right here. So
this segment is brought to you by the letter Q for questioning my life decisions. Oh, geez, but we unfortunately do have to get to.
We do, and let me just offer this one last thing because I would be one of those that would go and get in the cage with the shark in the water, just because I think that would be an awesome experience.
I've done it.
Oh,
you've done
man,
that.
I've done that. Oh, you don't. Oh, so I did it for my 18th birthday.
Okay,
it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. The water was freezing.
Oh yeah,
the water was ice cold, but it was the coolest thing in the world. And well, puns aside, but it was fantastic. There was sand tiger sharks, like the ones that had like the crazy teeth and stuff like that.
That will harm nobody.
That look like Old Man Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the teeth are all just serrated and stuff like that, but they all look like Old Man Jenkins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's an old Scooby-Doo reference for those who understand that. But anyway, it was really cool, and I would absolutely do it again. It's an hour-long drive for me, but it's whatever. It's not that bad. But I highly recommend anyone to do that. So we do, unfortunately,
hit the freeway and put on some good music, and you're there before you even know what happened.
This is true. We unfortunately do have to get to a quick little ad break before we get to the topics of the show because
let's do it.
As we do know, this show is not free. So where is our friend Ryan? Be right back. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
That is right, friends. Use the promo code BellyUpSports in all caps to get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. SeatGeek is a proud sponsor of Time to BS. And up there, Belly Up Sports and Belly Up Media. So go buy tickets.
That's right.
They're very helpful. They're very, very helpful.
I'm not only a spokesman but also a client, so it does work.
I'm pretty sure all three of us are clients here. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I used it for local hockey here. Their season's long over, but when they were playing, I used SeatGeek to get some Adirondack Thunder tickets with my friends, and they were impressed by the discount we received. And they said, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
That's
Just
right.
kidding. I told them exactly how.
The more you know.
That's right.
So yeah, Belly Up Sports, no cash, $20 off, SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Promo code Belly Up Sports. We do need to talk about some a great debate that you, Kevin, discussed on the fantasy show with Vince and Brian. And stuff
Okay,
like that.
bring it.
So
Absolutely.
there was a massive. This isn't even a massive trade. It's not. So the Jalen Ramsey deal.
Okay.
For those who have not lived under a rock, or have lived under a rock, or in the creeks, or whatever the heck you decide to traverse your world, or Jalen Ramsey got traded for Jonnu Smith, or was it Jonnu Smith goes from Miami to Pittsburgh, and Jalen Ramsey goes from right?
Jalen
Ramsey went to Pittsburgh.
Jalen Ramsey went to Pittsburgh along with a late round pick,
along with Jonnu Smith.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was for Minka Fitzpatrick?
Yes,
That's
for
right.
Minka Fitzpatrick and a late round pick. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what the
who
pick
cares
was.
about the late round picks?
I think
Anyway.
I think it was a 7th, but I don't know. But man, whew, this trade has lit people up, and it's not the blockbuster people think, but it's just
It's not.
people
Right.
have opinions.
What it is that Miami had to trade Jalen Ramsey.
Oh, so
They
okay,
had
I got
to.
the trade. Hold on, I got the trade. The
Okay.
Miami Dolphins have agreed to trade 3-time All-Pro corner Jalen Ramsey and tight end Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for Minka Fitzpatrick and a pick swap. Part of the trade, which is pending physicals. This was back in June 30th. As of this article, the Dolphins are sending a 2027 7th-round pick to the Steelers and will receive a 27 5th-round pick back from Pittsburgh.
Well,
Ramsey-
blah blah
Blah, 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 $1.5 million raise this season. So, okay. I don't know how much tape I don't know how much tape you guys have seen of Ramsey the last few years, but
He's not that guy anymore.
He can still be effective.
He's effective. Yes,
He
he's
can be
still effective. But
And so I've already made my as you mentioned, I've made my notes on this. So I'm going to listen to you two guys on this one.
the fact that the Steelers gave up more than the Rams did,
Right.
or the Dolphins did to get Jalen Ramsey is impressive.
It
is
is
very
It really
impressive because from a business perspective here, you're right. The Dolphins had to get rid of the Jalen
Right.
Ramsey contract.
That's been going on for at least a month or so. So that had to happen.
Hey, the Seahawks were in talks with Miami to get Ramsey.
Exactly.
That I know. But the fact that Jalen Ramsey got all this value
And all this money.
on all this money back, he has not been the same
No.
since dare I say, the year before the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you aren't interested in watching tape, go watch Jalen Ramsey's tape the last 4 or 5 years. He's not the same that he was early on with the Rams
Well,
and his career with Jacksonville. He's not. He flat isn't the same.
that's no crime because he's older.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's understandable. And I think that he's going to be effective in the secondary.
Yes.
Their front 7 is awesome. Their back 4, not so much.
Pending a TJ Watt extension, which may or may not happen
Exactly.
because
That's a discussion for another time, probably.
that's the other thing. That's the other thing I wanted to get to. Like, if I'm TJ Watt, I'm pissed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing. And I don't know if you both saw it because this broke today, but the Steelers GM got a 3-year extension. I don't know how off of this trade. This trade, I mentioned it briefly on No Credentials Required. We got into it, but I'll just say before I cede the floor to you, Dan, because I haven't heard your thoughts on it yet. This trade, Jalen Ramsey's not that guy anymore.
No, he's not.
Part of it's not his fault. Friend of the show, Playmaker, who is a Rams fan, he chimed in. He said injuries hurt Ramsey, and I said that's true, but that doesn't negate the fact that he cannot play at the level that he once did. And to give up Minkah Fitzpatrick, who people are saying, "Oh, Minkah Fitzpatrick was washed." I don't think he was washed. He's only 28 years old.
No.
Yeah, he's only 28 years old. And just a little bit of a joke here. The real reason the Steelers made this trade is because who is the Steelers' current offensive coordinator?
Arthur Smith.
That's correct. Who was the tight end in Atlanta when Arthur Smith was the head coach there?
That's right.
Jonnu Smith.
No, you're right.
So who was the tight end in Tennessee when Arthur Smith was still the offensive coordinator there? Jonnu Smith.
This did not help my case out because I made a case earlier than this of why Pat Freiermuth was going to be a quality tight end this year.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal tight end.
Yes. Yeah. I liked I thought Aaron Rodgers throwing to him was going to be a good thing.
Oh, Jesus.
To him.
No, here's the thing.
No one else, maybe, but to him, it was going to work.
It's not even the fact of Aaron Rodgers. It's the Steelers as a whole. Because, listen, for those who have known this show for the Time TBS platform for the 6 years I've been doing this, have known my thoughts on Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Have known my thoughts. Dustin, Kevin, you two have known my thoughts on Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
For as long as you've known me. And at first, I did jump for joy when Pete Carroll was announced he was let go by the Seahawks. But after a while, I felt a somber note. But my argument to Pete Carroll was the Seahawks would not advance or what the heck was it?
They would not get out of the first round, right?
They wouldn't do better until Pete Carroll was gone. Mm. And my thought of Mike Tomlin is still the same. This was a Mike Tomlin trade.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, I guarantee you, called Omar Khan.
It is.
I guarantee you, Mike Tomlin went to Omar Khan's office and said, "Hey, get me Jalen Ramsey. I don't care how much it costs." And it's like, okay, we'll trade Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick can play everywhere.
Yes.
On the secondary.
Yes.
He can play everywhere.
And
you're telling me that he's 28. You're telling me that Jalen Ramsey is an upgrade over Minkah Fitzpatrick. You are out of your dang mind. You're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure somebody is making that claim. I don't know. I know no one that's saying that.
This platform has been torn to shreds by Steeler fans the last year. Torn to shreds because of, this show's, the Time to BS opinions of Mike Tomlin. Because, you don't know anything about Mike Tomlin, blah, blah, blah. He's constantly winning seasons. Like, okay, watch the tape. Watch the tape. Mm-hmm. Watch the freaking tape. And if you don't believe me, okay, this is a defensive coach, by the way. This is a former defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Tampa too.
Is Mike Tomlin. Yeah. Back with Tampa, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
He came from the Vikings. He came from Tony Dungy.
Yep.
You're telling me a defensive coach, the defense of Pittsburgh has been, Kevin, you're the fantasy junkie here. Where's the Steelers' defense been ranked the last few years? Not great. Not great at all.
Right.
And
because of that back end, that's what I'm saying. Their front seven has been fine. The back end has not been.
Cameron Hayward and TJ Watt are studs. That is no debate.
Nobody's getting into that. So.
TJ Watt's going until if TJ Watt retired this evening, Hall of Fame in 5 years. No questions asked.
No questions asked. No. But the only thing missing on him is the Super Bowl championship. Other than that, he's got it covered.
Again, if I'm TJ Watt, I'm like, what the heck, guys? What happened? Like, what you like? I'm not like trying to say, hey, pay me my money, but like you paid 30-something-year-old corner Jalen Ramsey an extra $1.5 million for a guy who hasn't been the same in 6 years.
Yes, that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with it too, because the mixed messaging the Steelers are saying. They're saying this is an all-in year. This is a make or break year. We're going all in. They went and got Aaron Rodgers, who let's not kid ourselves. Aaron Rodgers in his prime, one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. Aaron Rodgers is not in his prime anymore,
No,
and he enters a division where he is unquestionably not the best quarterback in his division.
No,
He's easily the worst.
He's not even top 2.
Yeah,
he's
not
he's
top
probably
two.
the worst, to be honest here.
And
Possibly, depending on what happens in Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
good point. That's actually a good point.
So then the other thing is, so at best, he's the third best quarterback in the division. Okay.
Yep. You have
And
two
the Steel-
MVPs in your division.
The Steelers have DK. They brought in all these
Oh, for
new.
God's sakes.
all
Yeah,
these
let's
new
not get
faces.
into that.
But here's the thing: how can you say it's an all-in year when you have not extended T.J. Watt, who unquestionably is your best player and has been one of the cornerstones of your franchise
Yeah.
for the past decade? And I am not a Steelers fan. You know how I feel about the Steelers. I'm still bitter about 2006. That game was a rig.
Trust me, you're not the only one.
But I'll tell you this. The Steelers, you say what you want about them. They usually do not conduct business like this. They do not make they do not make knee-jerk reactions. This is a knee-jerk reaction, and they're trying to plug up the boat, and they're doing anything they can, and this is very uncharacteristic
It is
of how the team has been run.
You're absolutely right, Dustin. This is one of the facts that we brought up on our show the other night. And, I also mentioned that this trade does not blow my skirt up, so to speak.
Nice Marilyn Monroe reference, Kevin.
Yeah, you like that. Okay.
Very well done. You know what? Where did I put it? Where did I?
I'm going to sleep soundly tonight.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Dustin, you made a good decision of coming on here.
What you have done has made God very unhappy.
I told you I was looking forward to it more than you knew, and now you know.
Dustin's probably on the inside of his heart just going, that's a new one.
I was going to say I hadn't
that
seen
was
that
awesome.
That's a new one. Yeah, it's great.
That's almost that's worth a second roll right there. So
yeah.
You know what? Why not? It's just pointless and stupid. I love it. Oh boy, we have another signing to. Actually, the Seahawks made a new signing. So former draft picks, Shaquille Griffin.
Yes,
1-year deal with the Seahawks. Here's the thing. I don't hate the move, but it makes you wonder how well thought of Nehemiah Pritchett is. One of their corners that they drafted last year.
Yeah.
Because, say what you want. He had some sparks where he was like, well, good player. Because he's got size. He's 6'1", 6'2". He's a decently sized corner.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the year, it's like, what happened?
Yeah,
right.
he was
I have size doesn't mean I'm going to play defensive back. So
I have size too, and that doesn't mean I'm a great linebacker. Oh boy! So, Dustin, you go first because I don't hate the move because it brings a lot of veteran presence because he's good.
Yeah,
Shaquille Griffin's a good corner.
He's still good. Yeah,
he's a good corner.
He still has it. But I would say when I viewed this, I was like, this is a nice little reunion. Reunion signing. Yeah, but I viewed it more as a depth move at this point. I don't know that Shaquille. I don't think Shaquille Griffin's going to be starting. I don't think any of that.
Nope.
Any of that stuff. But he will be. Should an injury happen or anything, he will be a great addition to have as depth. He may be in on some packages depending on the what offensive scheme is brought out there. Who knows? But I think you hit the nail on the head. It's veteran leadership. It's a guy that knows the Seahawks vibe. He knows he's been with the team. He knows how it works, and he's veteran presence. He can kind of mentor the younger players. I mean, we all know that Witherspoon is amazing, but I'm sure he could learn some things from Shaquille, for sure.
Yeah. And Josh Jobe, too.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
can Woolen too. Tariq.
Yeah, Reek Woolen, yeah. Yeah, I mean, people were saying he had a down year last year. By his standards, yes. By his standards, yes. But I mean, I'm still thrilled he's on the team. I'll put it that way.
Kevin, what do you think?
Well, this is the guy that he's played 8 years, and he has 100. I had this down. 106 games, started 82. So, Dustin, you're absolutely right. There's a veteran here.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing. And at the very least, he can come in here and show the other guys how to play the game.
Yep.
And I think that's big. And if he can provide anything, which I think he can, it's not like he's hanging on by his fingernails or anything.
Yeah.
He can come in and make plays. And anytime you can shore up a position and you don't have to give up anything, no draft collateral or anything like that, what's the downside? There isn't any here.
Not a lot. No, not a lot at all. I'm with you guys on this one. Depth signing the whole round, a veteran presence, and just it's one of those it's a typical Schneider move, which is
Yeah.
bring back an old draft pick. Why the heck not? Why not?
Yeah. When it makes sense for both sides like this, this is like it's easy. It's easy. It's like when it didn't work out totally, but it's like when they decided to bring Bobby back. That just made sense. That just made sense when they brought him back after he went to the Rams. That was an easy decision because Bobby still has things left. We saw how he played for the Commanders last year, and I think this is similar. Is Shaquille as good as he once was? No, but he's a wily veteran. He still has it. It makes sense.
Correct. We also have a quick little question for you guys. The 49ers our delightful foe / nemesis / rival / enemy, whatever the heck you want to call it. Because
week one, we'll see
week one.
Yeah.
Week one.
Week one. If you remember on our Seahawks sessions, I said this was the key game of the entire season.
Yep. Will the 49ers be better or worse in 2025? Because if you have not paid attention, we'll tell you now. Dre Greenlaw, Tafari Hufanga, Charvarius Ward, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo Samuel, gone.
That's not a big loss, by the way.
What?
It's not a big loss.
Deebo?
No. Samuel.
Trent Williams, contract negotiations. Brock Purdy, massive contract.
Yeah, they had to give it to him.
Which they had to do that.
Had no choice. I'm on the boat of I don't think the Niners will be better or worse. They'll just be at this. They won't be the same record in all likelihood, but they'll still be tough to beat because of the 49ers and, yay. But the big reason why I don't think they'll be better or worse I don't think they'll be better is because the rest of the division. Keep in mind here, Arizona won 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they were tough to play against.
Yeah, as they always are.
For a lot of teams.
That's right. Especially the Seahawks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Los Angeles Rams, despite winning the division, won the same amount of games as the Seahawks did.
That's right.
Yep.
10.
Yep.
And for those that are saying, the Rams are gonna be Super Bowl team, or keep in mind here, Los Angeles, all due respect, Jack, for a good chunk of the season was not a showstopper like they usually were.
No, that came later.
And the Seahawks, with barely an offense, won 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Won 10 games.
Right, because they had a quarterback that was throwing 47 interceptions, it seemed like.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the reports or the articles have been going out from ESPN or something like that? Geno Smith is a massive loss for the Seahawks. Really?
Yeah,
really?
I've seen that.
This is the same ESPN who trashed this team for 3 years now because Geno Smith was a quarterback.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. That's right.
When he was literally the reason to why they were still on the map post Russell Wilson.
That's right.
The reason they were still on the map.
And all he did, all he deserved to do was work at a library or something, according, and
Jeez.
he came in there and has been a legitimate starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And all he needed to do, Dustin, as you pointed out many times, was limit those awful turnovers he had.
Yep.
Yeah. The
If
red
he had
zone.
done that, the Seahawks win the division last year.
Easy.
Because that game against the Rams at home, he had two, at least, that were awful. Absolutely. Three, that just killed him. You take those 3 passes away, they win a division.
Yep. Oh, it's just,
and we debated this, if you remember, way back. Are they rebuilding? Are they retooling? What are we doing here? Because we're like, what are you doing? I think
it's official now. They're not rebuilding.
Right, it's official because they got rid of Metcalf. What are you doing? They got rid of Smith. What in the world is going on here?
Tyler.
Yeah.
And Tyler, which is understandable. The guy is about ready to collect his retirement benefits. So I got that. But you put all those 3 things together, like, Seahawks, what are you doing? And then they turned right around and did what they did, bringing in who they did. So we were all back on board with that.
Not to toot my own horn, but I did tell you guys to be patient.
No, I knew you liked the offseason.
That's right, you did. So right here, okay, and so
toot my horn over here.
but regarding the 49ers, I just want to say one quick thing. I think you're right. I think they'll kind of tread water. They've had a lot of losses, but let's not forget they still have some players on this team.
Oh, yeah.
And anytime you have a quarterback, you have a chance. And Brock Purdy's a quarterback. I know a lot of people like to throw a lot of things at Brock Purdy.
I'm not doing that.
He is a quarterback, but the other thing
is a quarterback.
The 49ers have had a lot, and I shed no tears for them. Believe me.
No.
But
they can turn their boat completely upside down, and I'm fine.
Yes. But they have had more injuries at the running back position.
That's right.
The past few seasons. And if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, he's going to prove to everybody just how good he still is. But that's an if.
That's a big if. I saw just recently, I forget who it was, that had Christian McCaffrey ranked number 2 at running back. That's insanity. Whoever's doing that. Don't listen to that at all. You're in fantasy. Don't listen to that.
Yeah,
okay, so besides that, remember the 49ers have the easiest schedule this year coming up.
Bull crap.
Okay. Bull crap. Okay.
Bull crap. That's all I'm going to say. That's all
you're going to say. All right. They can't be much because they were awful last year.
Mm-hmm.
So being worse is not going to happen. So they're in a situation where they could win 6 games or so, 7. But like I said, that first game is going to show us all we need to know about both teams.
There's fireworks going on outside.
Oh, you've already got
I think it's a couple Niner fans are going like, yeah, Kevin's right.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
This is serious.
I know. This really is the world's smallest violin. See?
I played the wrong meme.
Oh.
I played the wrong one.
I don't want to be right about the 49ers. I want them to win 2 games.
I love being wrong. I
want them to win 2 games.
Yeah.
Please,
that's all.
I enjoy being wrong. Have you guys seen the OTAs reports that have been going around? Because Seahawks OTAs are going on training camps starting in a couple weeks over in Seattle. What have you guys seen? What have you guys thought about since OTAs have been going on and stuff like that? Because the word's been going up that Torrey Horton's been drawing some eyes.
I saw that
from Seahawk camp. He might start at slot. He's quick. He's quick and's got some mitts. I'll give him that. And like Kevin, wasn't it you who said like this was a steal for the Seahawks?
It is. He can catch passes. We know that. And But the player that's really gotten my attention is Kenneth Walker.
Yep.
Okay, because I've
Yep.
gone on record on our show that I'm on the bus with Kenneth Walker. I think he's going to have a huge season this year.
He better.
Even though he's got, Charbonnet back there and everything. But I think
two others too. Two others in Martinez and McIntosh.
That's right. But from OTAs that I've seen, he's going to have a great season.
Please.
He's in his walk year. He's going to be the guy for the Seahawks. They're going to want to run the football, even though, we made all these changes. Kenneth Walker is the guy that I'm really, really down with. And so if I have a chance to draft Kenneth Walker, I'm doing it. You could call me a homer, whatever. I don't care. I'm with this guy. And as far as Horton, I've heard the same things. And if he turns out to be great, we'll take all the offensive weapons we can get our hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so, good. Do it.
Dustin, what about you?
Well, to be fair, I have not seen as much from OTAs as I've wanted to. My focus has been in other areas of my life, but everywhere you look, it seems the player that is garnering a lot of attention. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball, and I'm going to say Nick Emmanwori. Emmanwori.
That man is a missile.
He's People are saying I saw the clip that you shared with friend of the show, Jackson Bevins. Man, somebody said that he looked bigger than Cam without shoulder pads. He's been getting the Cam comparisons pretty much since he was drafted. Okay.
Oh.
And if he is that, which he just the glowing reports that have been going around about Nick Emmanwori, how fast he's picking things up, and based on the personnel that he's on the field with, there's a chance he's with the ones.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I got a great so there's a weird debate going on among Seahawks Twitter. Speaking of Nick Emmanwori, there is a weird debate going on across Seahawks Twitter about, hey, should Emmanwori start at inside linebacker? Because he's got size.
No.
And if for those who do not know, it's been discussed with Jamal Adams when he was here about moving into linebacker, and that's why Adams and the Seahawks ultimately agreed to part ways, which was because Mike McDonald wanted to try Adams at linebacker when he first got hired. And then Adams said, no, I want to play safety. It's okay. You could cut. No big deal. We'll mutually agree to part ways.
We'll just pay you $790 million or whatever it is when you go out the door.
Anyway, so yes, you're right. The Emmanwori comparisons immediately went to Cam Chancellor even before he was drafted.
Yep.
I'll shout out one of my favorite Seahawk pages, Hawkmania, who has been all over Emmanwori since before he was drafted by the team. And the fact that this kid dropped to the second round is insane.
It is.
Insane.
It is.
So, as of right now, the two starting inside linebackers are Ernest Jones. Full season of him is going to be fantastic. And Tyrese Knight. Outside of that, the linebacker in depth is Drake Thomas, Pat O'Connell, Josh Ross, Tariq Smith, nobodies. So, do you want to get Emmanwori on the field? He's big, he's fast, he's natural safety. But would you start him at inside linebacker opposite Ernest Jones?
I could do that. And the reason why I would do that is because there was one quote that I heard from him that really got my attention, and that was he said that the speed on the field wasn't that fast. I'm paraphrasing what he said.
Where is that sound? Where is that sound? I'm gonna put it.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, so we all know that the college game is kind of like you're on the freeway doing about 70 miles an hour. Over here, the NFL is like you're in Wyoming where there is no speed limit.
It's
Okay.
the Autobahn.
Autobahn.
Hey.
And if this guy thinks that this Autobahn is not that fast, then this
Good
guy
luck.
is going to be a great player. And
Good
so I
luck.
liked it when he said that. It gives me a lot of optimism that he's going to step on that field and make a huge impact.
Yup.
And somebody's going to certainly, feel the pain because they didn't take him where he could have been taken, and they're going to
He is a
regret not
missile.
drafting him.
That kid is a missile, and I can't wait to see I can't wait for week 1. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I don't have as many questions about the defensive side of the ball because
No.
because we saw what Mike McDonald could do, and we
That's
saw
right.
that what was one of your gripes, Dan, with Pete Carroll? He wouldn't adjust.
Stubborn.
He wouldn't adjust. Mike McDonald will adjust. He will do it mid-season. He will do it mid-game.
That's right.
Thank God. Thank
So
God.
I am not worried about the defensive side of the ball. The offensive side is where I can't help it. I still have skepticism. I still have.
Offensive line, there's still questions there.
Yes.
Which brings us to our next question. The Sam Darnold report.
Okay.
What have you guys seen? I know Dustin probably hasn't really seen a whole lot of reporting about Sam Darnold or a lot of tape from Sam Darnold. Kevin, I trust you have.
I have.
Let's be honest here, hardest working man in belly up. What have you seen? Because the Sam Darnold question mark has been the talk of the Seahawk fandom for the better part of 4 months.
And understandable that that's the case.
Yeah.
Okay. What can you tell us?
Well, it looks like that because we have to have Sam Darnold the first 15 games. That's what we need.
Okay.
Not the last 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it seems like everything I've seen that he's meshing well with everyone. And the question that I saw was the burning question was, will Sam Darnold be sacked less or more times than Smith was? And I think he's going to be set, even though he's pretty much immobile.
Yeah.
But they're going to play an offense that's going to suit him, that's going to put him in situations where he's, can move up or move. They're not going to, because like you said, there was no adjustments. If Smith was getting hammered, he got hammered, and that was it.
Yep.
They're going to make it the offense so that he's not going to feel as much pressure. And if he's not feeling the pressure, I think that we're going to get the first 15 games version of Sam Darnold. And if that happens, we'll be dancing in the aisles.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And because he's got the offensive web. Everybody's like, oh, he doesn't have Justin Jefferson. Of course he doesn't.
He's got 3 guys.
But he's got Jackson Smith Najigma, who's, I know I'm still saying that wrong 3 years later, but he had 100 catches, okay? And I still absolutely believe that the former Ram is going to come in there and blow the doors off the place.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is going to come in there and be the Cooper Kupp we've seen, not last year, but before that.
The Triple Crown, the former Triple Crown winner.
Right? And so whatever happens at tight end, whoever they put in there, I think they're finally going to figure out, Sam Darnold's going to figure out how to throw the ball to the tight end.
Yep.
Which is something the Seahawks have been woeful at for a long time.
Oh, jeez. When Jimmy Graham is the all-time leader in touchdowns.
That's right. Yeah.
That's not a typo, but that's not incorrect, by the way. Jimmy Graham, statistically, in 3 years, has more touchdowns than Luke Wilson, than Jeremy Stevens, than Luke Wilson.
Yeah, can we stop making people by the name of Wilson and making me look bad? I'd appreciate that.
You know who was a decent tight end when he was there, though? Zach Wilson. I like the way Zach Wilson played for us.
Zach Miller.
or Zach Miller. Jeez, yeah,
Former Pro Bowler. Former Pro Bowler with the
on the
Raiders, by the way.
mind. I have Wilson's on the mind. Yes, the former Bear / former whatever. But here's the thing that gives me a little bit of hope, Kevin, because I have to say I'm the pessimist. Now, you are right, Dan. I have not seen much off-season tape of Sam Darnold, but what I did see is tape on Twitter /X. Ryan's not here to police me, so I will at least acknowledge an X.
Okay.
Ha!
But
Yeah. Ha, Ryan. Ha.
but I saw footage of him throwing 2 red zone picks in OTAs, and I went to myself. I said, please, for the love of all that is holy, Gino threw the red zone picks. Don't you do it too, Sam, when you're less mobile. And because I feel like, yes, they're going to try to protect Darnold. Yes, I think the offensive line will be better, and provided everyone can stay healthy. But if they are not, Sam will be sacked a lot. And the reason I have pessimism on Sam, and I hope that I am wrong, we have the 15 games that he played for the Vikings where he looked unbelievable. Yeah. But we also cannot forget the years of data that we have showing how Sam Darnold. Now, part of that was the environments he was in. He was brought into San Francisco to be clearly just a backup, barely played. He was drafted by the New York Jets. The New York Jets have proven no matter the coach, no matter the GM, no matter the OC, they cannot develop a quarterback. Geno Smith is a classic example.
That's why I'm not on the Justin Fields bus.
But we have more data. In Carolina, it wasn't good when Sam Darnold was the starter. So I'm hoping that he has turned it around. I'm hoping that he's learned enough from Kevin O'Donnell, the quarterback wizard. I'm hoping that his confidence has been rebuilt and he is ready to have a rebirth, similar to the way that Geno had a rebirth because Pete Carroll believed in him. I hope this is the same situation, but I do not know.
You know what helps what benefits Sam Darnold a lot more? Our two coaches.
Yeah.
Rick Dennison, the new offensive line coach who came from Denver, and Clint Kubiak, the current offensive coordinator. That's going to benefit him so much.
Well, it's the implementation of that Denver, that Shanahan scheme.
The simplicity of that scheme. Yeah. And the fact that Mike McDonald and Abe Lucas even said in press conferences, they're like, yeah, we're running the ball. It's no questions, no debates. And I'm like, yes.
That's right. You've got 2 solid running backs, so why would you have a different philosophy than that?
You have 4 guys.
At least
realistically, you have 4
at least 2.
You got 2 guys that can rush for 1,000 yards each. Mm-hmm. You got 4 guys that can rush for 500 plus. Kenneth Walker.
That's right.
Zach Charbonnet.
Yep.
Kenny McIntosh and Damien Martinez. You got 4 guys. And a fullback, by the way. We love fullbacks around here.
We drafted a fullback. Yeah.
Yes, we love fullbacks around here. We love fullbacks. Fullback galore.
Shout out to you, Mac, number 38.
Paula, Seahawk great Max Strong, by the way.
That's right. That's right.
There's a guy.
Was there a guy that had a better name than
Max Strong?
Yeah.
It's like a Max Strong. Either him, I would love to get him or Will Tukuafu. Because Tukuafu seems like the most gentle giant on the face of the planet. He does. He really does. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for the season, guys. What are some moves that you guys would like to see happen? Because obviously the Trey Hendrickson trade rumors have gotten some steam.
Yeah.
His value has not dropped, but I don't know if you guys have seen the TikTok comments, something like that, but a lot of people have said there's no way he's going to go for a first-round pick. No way.
Okay.
No way. And there's a lot of reports, and Mike Salk of Seattle Sports Radio would tell you he's probably going to go for a third-round pick, a third and a fifth-round pick.
No, we've already discussed this, and if that's what it takes, I'm sending it today.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
that's the move that I want to see. That's the main move because I was hoping they'd sign Joey Bosa to bolster their pass rush when he was out there.
Yep.
And if Trey Hendrickson is actually available, go get him.
Go for it.
Okay, that's
Go
what I'm
for
saying.
it.
A third and a fifth, we're making this trade.
Kevin, what are some moves? What's a move that you would like to see the Seahawks make before the season begins?
Yeah, we talked about we're not sure about the offensive line. I think that could use some more fortification, so to speak.
Quentin Nelson?
Okay, I can do that, and because this offensive line is the key to the entire Seahawks season.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
It's got to be, as we just talked about, Sam Darnold. If he gets sacked, because anywhere close to what Smith did a year ago, this is going to be a rough season.
Yeah.
Now, let's also understand that they have their current starters as of right now, courtesy of OurLads.com, are Charles Cross, left tackle.
Good.
Gray Zabel's by default going to start.
Solid. Okay, good.
It's a mix between Oluwatimi and Jalen Sundle, who's gotten some reps with the ones. And Christian Haynes has gotten some reps for the ones at right guard as well, because I'm pumped about this kid. And Abe Lucas, if Abe Lucas is healthy,
his ankles,
his knees,
if
Abe Lucas is healthy, if Cross, Zabel, Lucas, all three of those guys are healthy for the entire season, good.
Yeah, but good. I don't think you can plan for that.
Because
this is football after all.
Last season, they had George Fant started at right tackle. And then went to Stone Forsythe, who's no longer on the team. And then it went to who was the other guy? Michael Jarrell. Thank you, Internet.
Internet, the savior.
Thank God. And then it went back to Stone Forsythe, then went back to George Fant, and then went back to Michael Jarrell.
Yeah.
And then it went to Abe Lucas. If Abe is back fully healthy where he was his rookie season, they're going to be fine. That's a gigantic if.
Yeah.
But from the way things have looked, yep. It's looking good for good old Abe, honest Abe.
We're looking solid right now. Yeah. And we just need to get these guys in camp. And let's see. That's the problem is with the exhibition season, we're not seeing a whole lot of anything that matters.
Yep. Yeah. Correct. Dustin, what's a move that you would like to see before we close up shop?
Well, I'd like to see, for some reason, I just keep gravitating. Go out, and I know everybody knows that we're going to run the ball on offense. You just said Lucas came out in press conferences and said we're going to run the ball. There's no doubt. They're setting it up with the personnel that they have in place to run the ball.
Yep.
But I'd say go to the Colts and try to get Alec Pierce. Get a burner. Get someone to stretch the field every once in a while on some plays and kind of throw some people off with some play action passes, because I hope that Cooper Kupp returns to the form. I think that he will, but the fact that he's had the injuries he had, we may not have him for a season. We may not have him for the full season. I just feel like a little more depth at receiver. Receiver used to be, a few short months ago, one of the unquestioned strong points of our team. While I don't think it's gotten the downgrade that everybody thinks it's gotten, I still would like a little more depth at the position. And it seems to me like Pierce is kind of a persona non grata in Indy right now, and they got bigger problems. So go get them.
Screw it. Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. We do have some news to discuss for the show at 2025 edition, because the season, the preseason starts in a month and a half.
Yeah, is that
crazy?
It's hard to believe we're in July already.
Crazy. So I'm excited to report, lads, because it has been a while since we've recorded.
Right.
And why the heck not? Let's bring this back full time, boys.
Okay. You tell me when to show up. I'll show up.
Why not? So starting imaginary watch, to quote Dustin. Kevin's gonna watch.
No, he's got an actual one. Yeah,
I do. A nice one too.
I've got more than one. And a matter of fact, last Friday was my birthday, and one of my presents was a Seahawk watch.
Oh, nice.
Am I living on the top of the world or what?
Oh,
Why the heck not? Why the heck not? So yeah, we are bringing back Seahawks Sessions full time for the 2025 season until free agency or the draft or whatever. We're gonna roll with it. Roll with the punches, lads. We're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna cause some chaos as we usually.
Chaos. We are good at that.
We are great at that.
Yeah, we are. Okay, I'll upgrade. Yes, we are great at that.
So, what is any final thoughts before we close up shop for the day?
I'm excited to get this rolling. The show.
Yep.
The season.
Yep.
And my cat's right here. She's excited about it. And so I'm ready to roll and see how things progress. I'm ready for that first game.
Yeah.
And I want to be excited after that first game. If I'm excited after that first game, we are in great shape.
Dustin, what about you?
So I thought I had read somewhere that Richard Sherman came out and he said, I've seen greatness in Seattle, ain't it? But I, too, am excited to get it going, and I'm excited to be proven wrong by Sam Darnold. Please prove me wrong. Prove that you can do it again, because I am a pessimist by nature sometimes, especially with my sports teams. Kevin knows. He hears me. I complain about it all the time. I never think the Yankees have enough pitching. They could have three.
They don't.
You're right. Yes. I know, but they could have three aces on their team, and I'd still be like, we need more pitching. You can't do it, and I'm sorry. I do the we. Sometimes I get stuck in it. But I am excited to get I am very excited to podcast again regularly with you, talking Seahawks. Sometimes we'll talk random stuff. Video games, movies, cars. We don't know.
We talked Jaws and sharks for 20 minutes.
Like I said, you don't know what you're going to get into, but you can be sure that you're going to be informed and entertained.
Oh, be sure entertained the least.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Dustin's coming to you from the capital region of Albany, New York. Kevin's coming to you from the great state of Texas. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. We'll see you all next week, and certainly this life, and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone.